Today's math video is going to show you how to multiply and divide decimals by 10, 100, and 1000. So the first example we're going to look at is multiplying a decimal by 10. So we'll start off with an easy one. 1.5 times 10. That's going to give you 15. And the little trick here is to take the decimal, just move it over by 1. So this makes it 15. Okay, another example is if you have 0 decimal, say 34, multiply that by 10. If you move the decimal over, it now goes here. So this number becomes 3.4. Same thing applies if you have 0 decimal 016, multiply by 10. Take the decimal, you move it over here, and it makes our answer 0 decimal 16. So the key is when you're multiplying by 10, the decimal moves to the right the amount of spaces as there are zeros. So in this case there's 1 0, it moves over to the right one time. So the same idea is going to apply for multiplying by 100. Decimal is going to move over 2 times. So let's get another example. Let's go 1.7 multiplied by 100. And the decimal is over here. So you'd move it 1, and you'd have to move it another spot. So the decimal ends up there. So our answer now becomes 170. Okay, we'll try it with some other numbers too. You'll see it'll work the same way. 0 decimal 65 times 100. The decimal is over here. 1, 2. Decimal goes there. The answer is 65. So in a number like 65, the decimal is technically over here. The number is 65 point a bunch of zeros, but we don't say it. We say 65. So let's go into a smaller decimal. We'll go 0 decimal 029. Multiply that by 100. Gives you times 2 zeros. Move it over. The answer is 2 decimal 9. So this will always apply when multiplying by decimals. Move to the right, and in this case there's 2 spots. Same will apply if you're multiplying by 1000. So let's give that a shot. Let's do 2.6 multiplied by 1000 equals, well, we take the decimal, 1, 2, 3, because there's 3 zeros. So we move it down here so we can see it better. The answer would be 2.6 multiplied by 1000 is 2600. Okay. Even if the number is 0. Say, I don't know, 31 times 1000. Take this decimal, 1, 2, 3, gives us an answer of 310. Okay. And even if we did it with a number like this, 0 decimal 042 times 1000. Move this decimal over a few times, in this case 3 times, 1, 2, 3, get an answer of 42. Okay, now with division it goes the opposite way. So with multiplying we move to the right the amount of spaces. This time we have to move to the left by the amount of spaces. So let's pretend the number is 4. If it's 42 divided by 10, the decimal number 42 is located right here. We don't see it, but it's there. And you got to move it over to the left 1 spot because it's 10. Gives you an answer of 4.2. Okay. If you did the number 4 divided by 10, this decimal was over here. You move it here. You now have an answer of 0 decimal 4. Let's try some trickier numbers. Let's look at 3.8 divide by 10. Again, the decimal's over here. You go to the left to make the number smaller. 0.38 is your answer. This will apply for any decimal, even if you did 0.62 divide by 10. This decimal moves over to the left one spot, giving you an answer of 0.062. So that works as well. Same idea will work if you are dividing by 100. So if we took the number, say 45, divide this by 100. The decimal is hiding over here. It's not visible. 1, 2 spots. Your answer is 0.45. If you were to do 4, say decimal 5, let's keep it the same. Divide that by 100. Since the decimal is located here, 1, 2. You can throw in the 0 there if that helps you. There's many different ways people do this. 0.05 is your answer. Even if your number was 0, say decimal 45, divide that by 100. You move the number over 2 spots. 1, 2. So you move the decimal over 2 spots. Your answer is 0.0045. Okay, so it works like that. And lastly, the idea is the same for dividing by 1,000. So let's take 44. If you take the number 400, say 440. We'll start with a bigger number. Divide that by 1,000. Remember, the decimal is found over here. 1, 2, 3, because there are 3 zeros. Your answer is 0.440, or it can be written as 0.44. Same thing. They mean the exact same thing. If you were to take the number, say 44, divide that by 1,000, it's going to look a little different. Remember, the decimal's hiding over here. 1, 2, 3. Our answer is now 0.044. Okay. And if you had, say, starting off with the number 36.2, divide by 1,000, the decimal is visible. It's right here. 1, 2, 3. 0.0362 is your answer. And last example I'm going to use, we'll do one that's not so common in grade 6, but you may see a number like 0.304. Divide that by 1,000. Again, you may not see this in grade 6, but you would have to take the decimal here, 1, 2, 3, 0, 0, 0. So your answer would look like this. And yes, numbers like this do exist.